Welcome to the first of 4 readings from our new multilingual poetry anthology, Building Socialism, with over 100 poets from 25 countries. And Building Socialism is available online from lulu.com and other online booksellers, as well as from community bookstores. I'm John Curl, one of the editors, along with Jack Hirschman, Karen Melander-Magoon, and Scott Bird. I'm also on the technical team for this webinar reading, along with Karen Melander-Magoon and Lisbit Bailey. If you need to communicate with us, please do it through the chat. Please remember to keep your microphone off unless you are reading. This reading is being streamed live on YouTube and will be available later on our YouTube channel. Our moderator tonight is Jack Hirschman. Jack is the Emeritus 4th Poet Laureate of San Francisco, one of the founders of the Revolutionary Poets Brigade of San Francisco in 2009, one of the founders of the World Poetry Movement in Medellin, Colombia in 2011, author of The Arcanes, and one of the editors of this anthology. Jack?
Hello, welcome everyone. I'm going to begin by reading the preparatory page that was collectively put together by the 4 editors of this magazine.
I think I better go.
Because when the pandemic of coronavirus took hold of the city of New York, synchronous with Italy, there rose up in the unconscious consciousness of many an instinct, not only there, but all over the world, that only a socialism could save the dying international humanity. Because with the murder of George Floyd and the pouring into the streets of millions, as if to say that capitalism was the root cause of injustice and equality, as if to say that this country's refusal to jail the leaders of the Ku Klux Klan and the Nazis who demonstrated at Charlottesville, and to insist that racial bigotry is not free speech, is among the root causes of police brutality, because the Revolutionary Poets Brigade of San Francisco has already published 6 annual anthologies under the title of Overthrowing Capitalism, and this year voted to change the title to Building Socialism, realizing that words like socialism or communism are the most detested words in the lexicon of the thug billionaire president in power in the United States, and also out of deference to the motion of Bernie Sanders. For all these reasons, this year's anthology presents poetry and graphics related to all of the themes suggested here: overthrowing capitalism, building socialism, the Corona siege, George Floyd, the poem of his last words, and the unstoppable momentum of a fierce new class of young people toward a new system of governance with real and genuine equality and with necessities provided to each and to all. With that, we are going to begin with Agneta Falk, the poet and painter, member of the Revolutionary Poets Brigade of San Francisco and the World Poetry Movement of Medellin, Colombia, whose books, Heart Muscle and It's Not Love, It's Love, have been published in Italy, where she has also won the Premio of the Regina Coppola Prize for Poetry. She will read her poem, and then she will read the poem of Maketa Smith-Groves, an early member of the Revolutionary Poets Brigade of San Francisco, who unfortunately died this year in March and whose works are Red Hot on a Silver Note and Class Encounters. Agneta Falk.
Hello, everyone. My poem, While the World keeps its hands over its eyes, I'm the tear that gets stuck. I'm the color of the inside of you, and your outside is my fate. Your knee on my neck is the end of your world as you know it. It will never be forgotten or forgiven. It's been eternalized by my last breath. This is a poem.
Wait a minute, Aggie, excuse me. Can we get this echo from?
No, it's because we're in the same room. It's because we're in the same room.
Oh, okay.
Mute your mic, Jack.
Is there a possibility that you have anything else on?
It's okay. The same room, that's all.
Cell phone, other computer?
Okay.
Jack has to mute his mic.
Go ahead. All right. Go ahead, Aggie.
I'm reading a poem by Maketa Smith-Groves, Diaspora. My mind has a landscape that could not form anywhere except America. This is the diaspora, the vastness in my soul, like an African desert forever roamed. This Detroit memory of my father's 12-gauge blasting away wall and blood-spattered rats. My father's rage that he could not prevent this horror, this poverty, cleaving as Mississippi mud and KKK raids cleaving. Shooting rats late at night, rats the size of footballs, scampering over deep sleeping bodies of siblings and I. This profound rage and desecration by the rats for sleeping children are sacred ground, filled me with my father's rage, and I have raged ever since.
Wonderful. Bravo, bravo. Next, we will hear from Francis Combs, who is one of the most politically engaged poets in Paris and all of France. He is the founder of Le Temps des Séries books and a member of the World Poetry Movement and the author of Common Cause, a great book of poems. He will read in French, and the translation will be read by Barbara Plaschke, who is a member of the Revolutionary Poets Brigade of San Francisco and a translator of both French and Spanish. Francis.
Hi, everybody. I am very happy, very glad to be with you today. And I read. I'm reading. Leur inquiétude, notre espoir. Ceux qui nous gouvernent ont raison d'être inquiets. Car au moment où la vie de tous est en danger, soudain chacun se rend compte que d'eux nous pourrions nous passer. Oui, ceux qui nous gouvernent ont raison d'être inquiets. Car des politiciens, des financiers, des hommes d'affaires, des gestionnaires, des cadres supérieurs qui ont sacrifié au profit privé les intérêts de la majorité, de leurs experts qui ne savent rien, même pas se taire, et de leurs journalistes perroquets, nous pourrions aisément nous passer. Mais des médecins, des infirmiers, des aides-soignants, des savants dans les laboratoires, des pompiers, des ambulanciers, des agents de sécurité, des éboueurs, des balayeurs, des femmes de ménage dans les bureaux, les magasins, les ateliers, des camionneurs sur les routes, des cheminots dans les gares, les TGV, des livreurs, des manutentionnaires, des caissières des supermarchés, des boulangers, des boulangères, des marchands sur les marchés, des ouvriers sur les chantiers et dans les usines, des paysans dans les champs, des électriciens, des postiers, des instituteurs, des professeurs, des écrivains, des artistes et des chanteurs, nous ne pouvons pas nous passer. Oui, ceux qui nous gouvernent ont raison d'être inquiets, et leur inquiétude nous est bonne raison d'espérer. Thanks.
Their worry, our hope. Those who govern us are right to be worried, because at the moment when everyone's life is in danger, everyone suddenly realizes that we could do without them. Yes, those who govern us are right to be worried, because the politicians, financiers, businessmen, managers, executives who have sacrificed for private profit the interests of the majority, the experts who know nothing, not even to keep quiet, and their parroting reporters, we could easily do without them. But the doctors, nurses, caregivers, the scientists in the laboratories, the firefighters, paramedics, security guards, garbage men, street sweepers, the cleaning women in the offices, stores, workshops, the truck drivers on the road, the railroad workers in the stations, the high-speed rail, the delivery people, the stockers, the supermarket cashiers, the bakers, bakeries, shopkeepers in the markets, the workers on their construction sites and in the factories, the farmers in the fields, the electricians, postal workers, teachers, professors, writers, artists, and singers. We cannot do without them. Yes, those who govern us are right to be worried, and their worry is a good reason for us to hope.
Thank you, Barbara.
Bravo, bravo.
Thank you. So nice to see you.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Next, we shall hear from Jami Proctor-Xu. She is herself a poet, but she is also a translator of Chinese and the recipient of the Zhujiang Poetry Award and a First Reader's Outstanding Poet Award. She is going to read the translations, but am I correct, of Xiao Xiao, a Chinese poet and painter who has published 6 poetry volumes in China, and she is the first Asian to receive the Tudor Aghezi International Poetry Prize of Romania, and also Jidi Majia, who is a marvelous international poet and vice director of the Chinese Writers Association. So, Jami.
Okay. Hi, everybody. It's good to see all of you and to be here. It's in the middle of the night in China, but I asked Xiao Xiao and Jidi Majia to send videos so you could actually hear their voices reading their poems. Let's see, I guess I'll start with Xiao Xiao. And she wanted to thank everybody for that she's able to be a part of this anthology, and extends her warm greetings to all of you. And so I'm going to try a screen share, and hopefully this will work. And then I'll read the translation after. Can you hear that?
这些年，气候与人心越来越紊乱，像一个妇女正在更年的经期。如果你胆子大，就尝尝我的诗吧。别担心，我的诗麝香味美，不烈性，不会一杯要了你的命。在早晨，它像一杯波尼牛奶，又香又甜，仅仅加了一点点感官的成分。中午端上来一盘用醋和盐水浸泡过的我的餐前水果诗。农药残留98%被冲走。媒体说农药溶解 盐水和醋。不要害怕，放进嘴里咬一口。健康要多吃水果。我的诗是水果之王，它杂交了翻译体的味道。傍晚，如果你胆子大，去和雾霾约会吧。你把我的诗砍掉，一些标点符、虚词和参差不齐的敏感危险句子，横过来就成了隐喻的口罩。用我的诗吸毒，用缺席的天空为雾霾送葬。谢谢 ，Thank you very much.
Bravo, bravo.
So I'll go ahead and read the English translation. My poems are poisonous. In recent years, the climate and people's hearts have become increasingly chaotic, like a woman in menopause. If you're brave, why don't you taste my poems? Don't worry. My poems are flavorful, colorful. They aren't intense. One cup won't kill you. In the morning, they're like a cup of glass.
There's a poetry reading I'm listening to too.
Fragrant and sweet, with only a few ingredients added for sensory organs. At noon, I bring you a fruit poem appetizer soaked in vinegar and brine. 98% of the pesticide residues have been rinsed away. The media says pesticides dissolve in brine and vinegar. Don't be afraid. Put it in your mouth and take a bite. You need to eat more fruit to stay healthy. My poems are the king of fruit. They've hybridized the flavor of translation style. In the evening, if you're brave, go on a date with the smog. In my poems, you've chopped down punctuation marks, function words, and my irregular, uneven sensitivity. Dangerous lines turned horizontally become metaphorical face masks. Let my poems ingest the poison so that others stay safe. Use the absent sky to attend a funeral for the smog. Okay.
Bravo, bravo.
So that's Xiao Xiao's. Next, I'll share, Jidi Majia also sent a video, and in the beginning of the video, he extends his warmest greetings to his brother and comrade Jack, and to all the poets that are here for the reading today. He also was really honored to have his poem be a part of the anthology. And then he also, in the end, says thank you to me, but he also always calls me his cousin. So he said that he wanted you all to know that I'm his cousin. So anyway, so I'll go ahead and play his poem. Let me see. Oh, okay. Oh, wait, and the title of the poem, let me find the English of it really fast, is A Welcome Speech to the World. Okay.
Hi, Jidi.
我首先要向我的朋友诗人杰克赫希曼·福克尔表示我由衷的敬意，要向今天参加朗诵会的各位美国诗人表达我最美好的祝愿。当然，我还要感谢我诗歌的译者，美国诗人徐真敏，她同时也是我的表妹。谢谢她，她一会儿还要朗诵我的诗歌。我今天朗诵的诗题目叫《这个事件的欢迎词》。这是一个偶然，还是造物主神奇的结晶？ 我想这一切都不重要。当你来到这个世界，我不想首先告诉你什么是人类的欢乐，什么又是人类的苦难。然而我对你的祝福却是最真诚的。我虽然还说不出你的名字，但我却把你看成是一切最美好事物的化身。如果你需要的话，我只想给你留下这样一句诗：孩子，要热爱人。
Okay. Oops. Okay, I think I stopped sharing the screen. So I'll read the English of it now. A welcome speech to the world. Is this coincidence or the crystallization of the Creator's miracle? I don't think any of that is important. When you arrive in this world, I don't want to tell you first what happiness is or what human suffering is. However, my blessings for you are sincere. Although I can't yet say your name, I see you as the incarnation of all the most beautiful things. I want to leave you this line of poetry in case you need it. Child, you should love people with all your heart. Okay, so thank you.
Bravo, bravo. Can I ask before we continue to tell the people who have the name Yolanda Quetzalco and are not Yolanda Quetzalco, can you tell them how they can put their names? John, can you tell them how they can put their names on?
Yes, right next to your name, you know, just to the right of your name, there's a way, if you click over there, it'll give you an option to change your name to the correct name. There's, you know, Zoom has some somehow got confused with some of the names. So
See any more Yolandas? Am I missing something?
Yes, there's somebody there's someone who has Jack's name instead of their own name.
There are three Yolandas there. I see three Yolandas.
And there's a J.
I don't have them all. Okay.
Well, you scroll down, Karen. You're not scrolling down.
Yeah, I will. I'll scroll across.
Scroll down at the bottom.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay, and there's someone with my name too.
Yeah.
Right. I thought we changed that, but.
Right, there's some.
Yeah.
Right. And that was, I needed to know his name.
Who is that?
It's Nicholas Samaras.
Oh, Nicholas. Oh, yeah.
And I can't, it won't respond.
Okay, we'll change your name.
Right, check it and see if that looks right. Does that almost
You got it now, Nick. Now you're there. Okay.
Thanks. All A's would be nice, but anyway.
Okay.
Oh, Samaras. Okay, we can do that.
Thanks.
Okay, next we're going to hear from Adrian Arias, who is an American born in Peru, a prize-winning multidisciplinary performer, visual artist, poet, and art teacher living in the Bay Area. Adrian, can you read each section first, each section in Spanish first, and then the translation, okay? Adrian Arias.
El amor en tiempo del coronavirus. 1. Esta mañana desperté triste. Tuve un sueño acerca del fin del mundo. Lo escribí en mi cuaderno de sueños. Luego me preparé un café y me pregunté, ¿cuándo volveré a dar abrazos otra vez? Verifiqué mi cantidad de provisiones. Todo está bien por ahora. Miré por la ventana y supe que era cierto. Ellos están libres como antes. Había un venado en mi jardín junto a 2 mapaches y una zarigüeya. Luego llegó un halcón y se paró en una rama de mi árbol. ese árbol que nunca fue mío, que nunca lo será. Como esta tierra y este planeta, todo prestado. Tenía ganas de salir y tomar mi café mirando más de cerca a los animales que ahora andan libres por las calles, pero está prohibido. Decidí volver a la cama a seguir soñando. 2. Soñé con el desierto. Había mucho calor. Yo era un reptil. Tenía muchas patas. No las puedo contar ahora, pero creo que eran más de 8. Sin embargo, no podía caminar bien. Eran demasiadas patas para mantener una marcha adecuada. Era como si me hubieran crecido patas que no sabía usar. Me acerqué a un agujero que había en la tierra y tuve gran curiosidad de ver qué había dentro. Era un nido lleno de bombillas de luz. Miré de cerca las bombillas y todas tenían los filamentos rotos. Desperté con mucho frío. Estaba lloviendo. Las gotas golpeaban la ventana y se resbalaban lentamente como lágrimas. Fue bueno, porque yo no podía llorar. 3. Después del extraño sueño que tuve ayer acerca del cielo que se desplomaba, hoy estuve mirando por la ventana otra vez, extrañando cómo era todo allá afuera. El cielo estaba más despejado que nunca. Miré detenidamente una esquina del cielo y realmente descubrí 2 grietas y pensé, oh no, estas son las grietas de mi sueño. Deberían repararlas y pintarlas pronto antes de que la gente se dé cuenta que el cielo es de papel. Sonreí de mi idea descabellada, pero de todas maneras por instinto fui a verificar que las puertas y ventanas estuvieran bien cerradas. De repente sentí un estruendo enorme. El cielo se había desplomado y parte de él había caído en mi casa. Lo sabía, es mi sueño hecho realidad, me dije en silencio. Al poco tiempo había un grupo enorme de personas con máscaras y guantes enrollando el viejo cielo y otros extendiendo el nuevo cielo y colocándolo allá arriba. Me senté con mi café por la ventana. Parecía un sueño, pero era la realidad. A veces pasan cosas que no parecen reales, ¿verdad? 4. Solo las nubes y el pasto saben cuánto te quise. No pude verte la última vez desde que empezó esta cuarentena hace más de un año. Cuando el virus que atacaba a los humanos empezó a atacar a las máquinas y a los aparatos de comunicación, la orden de no salir a las calles se expandió a no compartir archivos ni mensajes, porque el virus se introducía rápidamente en las computadoras. No quedó ni una foto tuya, ni un poema mío. Todos los archivos de la humanidad se perdieron. Para algunos era una catástrofe. Para otros un alivio, un nuevo comienzo. Y ahora que todo terminó y todos estamos en las calles, celebrando con tímidos bailes y con miedo, tratando de abrazarnos otra vez. No sé dónde estás, no puedo reconocerte, no sé quién soy, no recuerdo quién soy. 5. No te preocupes por el futuro de la economía, corazón. Esto parece una lección para el capitalismo. Ya no hay economía de la cual preocuparse, ya no hay dinero ni cosas que comprar. Trata de dibujar esto en la cueva, para que algún día sepan lo que nos pasó, para que en el futuro vean que qué cosa nos hizo volver a lo primigenio, qué nos hizo volver a convivir con los animales, qué nos hizo perder el miedo a la vida. And this is also the illustration that is in the book. I think it's in the page 172. Beautiful book. Thank you, John. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Karen. It's a beautiful, beautiful book.
We do have some Yolanda Katalka, and they are later entries. One you just brushed your hair a little bit. Do you know, can you give me your name? I put that in the chat box, but nobody's answering. Oh, you are muted. Can you unmute? Please unmute.
Okay, is it okay now?
Yes. What is your name?
My name is Sarra Thilykou. I'm from Greece.
Can you spell that, or can you change it for yourself? Sarra, S-H?
Sarra Thilykou.
Sarra. Okay, Sarra, and the last name?
Thilykou. ThilYkou. Sarra Thilykou.
Try it. C-H-Y.
ThilYkou. Thilykou.
Okay, let me see if I can get that.
So I'm very glad to be here among you, and I'm so glad also to be included in this anthology. It is my second time, and I'm going to read you my poem, No Justice, No Silence. There are crooks everywhere. The situation is desperate. Daphne Caruana Galizia. Where is the place for a democratic woman in this world? Daphne, the journalist, was asking. The reply was already emerging. Inside the car, beaten by crooks and their bombs. As others were talking about the absence of God, or was it about themselves who stopped echoing? On the shores of refugees of Malta, democracy steals the place of Judgment Day, crying out loud, justice. There'll be no silence, no more silence, but the cry of us all, Daphne. Singing for justice in our hearts. Thank you. Do you want me to read it also in Greek?
Where is Jack? What happened to Jack? I think Jack is might be having technical difficulties. So I absolutely, read it in Greek.
The poem is originally written in English. It is of my very few ones originally written in English, since it's not my native language. But I'm going to read you also my translation in Greek. Υπάρχουν απατεώνες παντού. Η κατάσταση είναι απελπιστική. Ποια είναι η θέση μιας δημοκράτισσας σε αυτόν τον κόσμο? Η Δάφνη, η δημοσιογράφος, ρωτούσε. Η απάντηση δινόταν ήδη, μέσα σε ένα αυτοκίνητο χτυπημένο από απατεώνες και τις βόμβες τους, ενώ άλλοι μιλούσαν για την απουσία του Θεού ή μήπως ήταν για τους ίδιους που σταμάτησαν να ηχούν. Στις ακτές των προσφύγων της Μάλτας, η δημοκρατία κλέβει τη θέση της ημέρας της κρίσης, φωνάζοντας δυνατά, δικαιοσύνη. Δεν θα υπάρξει σιωπή, όχι άλλη σιωπή, αλλά η φωνή όλων μας, Δάφνη, τραγουδώντας για δικαιοσύνη μέσα στις καρδιές μας. Thank you.
So I guess Jack will come back to us when he gets his technology figured out.
We'll be here to wait for him.
So we'll just go down the list. After Adrian, we've got, I'm not sure who is here. I don't think Marvin X is here. Is Io here?
Yeah, we have some people still missing.
Well, Lisbit's here, so let's do, you're next in the list, Lisbit.
Hey.
Hello.
Are you back, Jack? Okay.
Yes, I'm terribly sorry. Who's reading now? Oh, here, this is after Adrian Arias. Is Marvin X here? No. Ayula. Is Ayo here? From Nigeria. She's not been able to get in. Okay. Lisbit Bailey. Lisbit. Let me just say here, Lisbit Bailey is a member of the Revolutionary Poets Brigade of San Francisco and an archivist for the San Francisco Maritime National Historical Park. Lisbit Bailey.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, everyone. My poem is titled Wishful, and it's a double reversed ethery. Here, things break everywhere. Built, then broken, nothing meant to last. Free market, free for none. All for money's sake, not love. Tell me, what are we waiting for? Late capitalism is failing. American dream, greed is a good scheme. I dream a new dream. A free is good scheme. Ample harvests everywhere to share. Key needs met for all and then some. Housing, learning, and healthcare. We pursue happiness, always for love's sake. No one left out. Everywhere, things grow. Listen. Thank you.
Bravo, bravo. Next we'll hear is Angel Martinez here. Angel Martinez? No, he is part of the New York RPB, but I guess he couldn't come on. Okay, then we'll hear next from Michael War. Let me just tell you a bit about Michael. Michael Ward's books include Of Poetry and Protest, From Emmett Till to Trayvon Martin, which was recently published and is an extraordinary book. And The Armageddon of Funk, and We Are All the Black Boy. In 2017, he was named a San Francisco Library Laureate. And he will read not only his poem, but he will also read the last words of George Floyd in the form of a poem. Michael.
Thank you, Jack. It's wonderful to be in this collection. And I will start with the last words of George Floyd, which I'm honored to read. George Floyd's last words. It's my face, man. I didn't do nothing serious, man. Please, 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 I can't breathe. Please, man, please, somebody, please, man, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Please, man, can't breathe. My face, just get up. I can't breathe. Please, I can't breathe. Shit, I can't move. Mama, I can't. My knee, my nuts, I'm through. I'm claustrophobic. My stomach hurt. My neck hurts. Everything hurts. Some water or something, please, please. I can't breathe, officer. Don't kill me. They're gonna kill me, man. Come on, man. I cannot breathe. I cannot breathe. They're gonna kill me. They're gonna kill me. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Please, sir, please, please, please. I can't breathe. Then his eyes shut and the police stopped. George Floyd was pronounced dead shortly after. I'm going to, my contribution to the anthology is called What Not to Do, an unfinished poem. It's a serial piece that I've been adding some of the names, mostly of Black people unjustly killed by the police. I've been adding many of their names to the poem since 2018. Actually, I should correct that and say it's not many of their names, because it would be impossible to read all of them, to write all of them. But I've selected names that I've included in the poem. And the poem's been updated since it appeared in this anthology. So I'm just gonna share one of those updates at the end of the poem. This is called What Not to Do. Oops. Sorry, I had it marked off, but now I have to find it. Okay, sorry about that. What Not to Do, an unfinished poem. Breathe, Eric Garner choked. Sell, Lucy's. Resist, to death. Stare, Lamont Hunt shot back of head. Make, Akai Gurley, a jarring sound, shot accidentally. Walk, Rakia Boyd, shot back of head. Stand, Amadou Diallo, in vestibule. Carry, wallet, loiter while walking, look out of place, act suspicious, 41 fired, 19 bullets kill. Walk, Terrence Crutcher, hands in air. Appear, intoxicated. Have a very hollow look, shot in back. Drive, Samuel DuBose without license plate, shot in head. Drive, Walter Scott with broken tail light, shot in back. Move, Kendra James into driver's seat after driver arrested, shot in head. Sit, Jordan Edwards unarmed in car, shot with rifle. Reverse, Deontay Yarber too suddenly, 30 bullets fired, 10 killed. Park, Chania Haggerty on side of road. Talk, on cell, on side of road. Shot, on side of road. Drive, Philando Castile with broken brake lights. Carry, legal firearm. Announce you have a gun. Shout, not reaching for gun. Shot, 5 bullets, 2 to heart. Sit, Donta Darson in car. Raise, left hand abruptly. Shot in eye. Evade, Michael Dean, shot in temple at traffic light. Crawl, Daniel Shaver toward officers as instructed. Pull, loose gym shorts too suddenly. Beg not to be shot, shot anyway. Approach, Oscar Grant, the police. Beg not to shoot. Kneel, shot anyway, in back. Fail, Corinne Gaines to appear in traffic court, shot. Failed, Chandra Bland to signal. Act, too uppity, found hanging in cell. Carry, Anthony Lamar Smith, planted weapon, shot, 5 bullets. Carry, Tamir Rice, toy gun, shot with real bullets. Carry, Cameron Tillman, BB gun, shot. Carry, Remain Brisbane, prescription bottle, shot, 2 bullets to torso. Carry, Laquan McDonald, knife in road, shot, 16 bullets. Carry, Mal Hall, gardening rod. Have schizoaffective disorder, shot. Carry, Stephen DeMarco Taylor, baseball bat at Walmart. Have a manic episode, shot. Not carry Keith Lamont Scott a gun when told to drop it, shot. Drop Kajan Raid a gun found later, shot in back. Point to Hill Vassell a metal pipe, shot 10 bullets. Try Brendan Glenn to stand, shot. B Adam Trammell naked in hallway. B handcuffed of schizophrenic, stunned to death in tub. B Natasha McKinnon assaulted. B schizophrenic. B of superhuman strength, stunned while shackled, 50,000 votes to death. B Tanisha Anderson, bipolar, head slammed to pavement. B Michelle Shirley, bipolar while driving, 30 bullets, 8 to chest, back, arms. B Charisse Francis off meds, 4 police bodies suffocate on bed. B Aaron Campbell, suicidal. B unarmed, shot. B Yvette Smith, armed when not armed, shot on front porch. B Mike Brown, too large. B same height as shooter, shot 6 bullets, 2 to head. B John Crawford, an imminent threat. Shop for Walmart air rifle. Carry Walmart air rifle at Walmart. Talk on cell phone at Walmart. Shot with real bullets at Walmart. B Terrence Franklin, a suspect, shot 5 bullets to head. B George Floyd, a suspect. B a 6'7" black man. B claustrophobic, asphyxiated, knee on neck while handcuffed. B Tony McDade, trans, move consistent with using a firearm, shot. Pose Ezell Ford, an imminent threat, shot while schizophrenic. Display Manuel Loggins Jr., a mean expression, shot in front of daughters. Call Selena Lyles police while mentally ill, shot 7 bullets. Fit Jordan Baker, the description, shot. Flee Freddie Gray, unprovoked, spine severed in custody. Run Tashi Brown, choked to death. Run Dominique White, shot in back. Run Stephon Clark through grandmother's yard. Carry cell phone, shot 20 bullets fired, 8 hit primarily in back. Jog Ahmaud Arbery, shot 2 bullets, killed while hunted. Play Atiana Jefferson, call of duty in bedroom, little Zion watching, shot. Sleep Alana Jones on couch, shot 1 bullet to 7-year-old head. Sleep Breonna Taylor in bed, shot 8 bullets, kill. Sleep Rashard Brooks at Wendy's, flee to make daughter's birthday. Point did taser over shoulder, shot 2 bullets in back. Walk Elijah McClain home, look sketchy. Play music, wear ski mask, shop for iced tea, carry iced tea, act crazy, whisper, can't breathe, display superhuman strength, beg to go home, be anemic, be suspicious, be on something, choked to death, breathe. Thank you.
I'd like to thank you so much, Michael. What a dissertation. What a memory. I mean,
Right.
how sad that is. Thank you. I understand that Angel Martinez is here.
Angel.
Angel, yes, Martinez is here. I understand.
Yes.
I got
Yes.
a
Member,
from Iowa.
yes, he's a member of the New York RPB, and also he's a deputy artistic director of the Bread is Rising Collective as it celebrates its 25 years in operation. So, Angel, we can't get an image of you here.
Oh, really? You can't see me?
Oh, there
No,
you
no, no,
are.
I can see myself.
Someone else has a misname. There's another
Yeah.
person
Oh,
with your name. So
Okay.
oh, really?
Angel.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you see me?
Let's see.
Okay.
the image. That's fine.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you to Jack, and thank you to John for making this possible. Again, thanks on behalf of the Brothers Writers Poetry Collective. It's a real honor to be here. And I'll read my one poem here from the streets of New York. It's called People's Democracy. Fragments for the future, to be continued if we are to survive. Forked tongues talk about disease. You mean smallpox in a blanket? We are not in the land of the free. Since 1492, this never was, and only after this nightmare is over can we ever be. 525 plus years of terrorism we have had, we must see it end. Poor people are in the fight of their lives. The old order is burning. While the idols of white supremacy fall, the poor must destroy the supremacy that created it. Fear is a toilet paper shortage? Don't worry, when the dollar means nothing, you'll have plenty of cash on hand. Oppression is a virus. Imperialism is the final virus we must defeat. Only then can we be free to love our grandparents and raise our generation's most high. Thank you.
Bravo, bravo.
Jack, we received a note from Io that he's here somewhere, but
Io is she.
She.
Io.
Io
Right here.
somewhere.
Oh, Io
Tell-
Ayula Amale from Nigeria. Io. Yes. She is a member of the World Poetry Movement and also an activist lawyer and a spoken word poet from Nigeria. Ayo, where are you? Come in. She's here, John?
We received a note that she's here on the.
Oh, there she is. Ayo,
No,
but not on stage.
I don't know. I put the name in, but I don't know.
Oh, Ayo. Well, let's see. Maybe she will come on in the course of the. Let's see. Ayo.
Ayo, are you there?
Ayo.
Maybe she tried to call in.
I don't know. We've got a.
Here
wait
she
a minute,
is. Here she is. I'll bet.
Oh, wait.
I see she gave. Okay, let me try this. Are you there? Ayo.
Ayo.
Are you there? I thought, yes. Are you there?
I'm afraid.
I don't. I think she's, that sound is maybe from her. That sounds like an airplane or something.
Why don't we come back to her?
Yeah, good idea.
But forgive me, there, I'm back again. Okay. All right, let's go on and maybe she'll come on. Next, we'll hear from Mahnaz Badihian, who is a member of the Revolutionary Poets Brigade of San Francisco, and recently the editor of an extraordinary anthology the plague of 2020. And some of you are in that anthology. And she is going to read her work, and then she's going to read from Mahnaz Badihian. She's going to read Majid Nacify's poem, who is from the RPB in Los Angeles. So Mahnaz Badihian.
Yes, there is lots of echoes, but okay. I'm going to read my poem. Before I start, I just want to say that a couple of hours ago, Iranians heard a very bad news because they lost a very iconic revolutionary singer who performed classic poetry with music, and he is international. His name is Mohammad Reza Shajarian, and Iran right now mourning the loss of this incredible voice. You guys can go. Aggie knows about them because he attended his son's concert in Sweden. So I'm going to start with my poem a little bit. I'm going to read a part of it, and then in Farsi, and then in English. آمد سنگ دلتر از جانیان، قوی تر از توپ و تفنگ، برجسته تر از اقتصاد جهان و خونین تر از ارتش سرخ استالین. کرونا آمد با درسی برای همگان، بزرگتر از تجربه مولانا، مهمتر از نصایح افلاطون، وحشت زده من کرد. Corona came crueler than the criminals, more robust than a cannon and a gun, more significant than the world economy, and redder than Stalin's Red Army. Corona came with a lesson for all, more important than experiences of Rumi, bigger than Plato's advice, scared us away to hide in the holes of our houses all alone. Fear of hunger grows in us, more significant than the fear of world hunger. We rush to fill our shelves with bread and cheese, fill our bowls with food and seeds, and attack the shops filled with fear and despair. Corona had ordered us to empty the streets, to stop our jobs, and build the fear of death. Like a sun ray did not differentiate between black and white, poor and rich, powerful and powerless, came to relieve the suffocated breath of nature, to calm the wounded plains, to revive the sick nature from pollution. Corona came to strip us naked of pride, prejudice, and greed. It was so small that was invisible, and so big that every day carried hundreds of people with him to bury them in mass graves. And now I'm going to read Majid Nacify's poem in Farsi and then in English. این خانه بو گرفته است، این خانه از آن تو نیست، به برج سیمانیت برگرد با پیشابندان طلایی‌اش. آن کس که به جای تو خواهد نشست باید چراغ راهنمای این ملت باشد، نه چون تو سرکرده جانیان. دور نیست که رودخانه میسیسیپی به رودخانه کلرادو بپیوندد و این خانه را یکسره از گند 4 سالش بشوید. This house stinks. This house is not yours. Go back to your concrete tower with its golden toilet. The one who will replace you must be the leading light of this nation. not like you, the head of criminals. It is not long until the Mississippi River joins the Colorado and washes off your 4-year filth truly from this house. Rise, oh American Hercules, who lives in the hearts of every informed man and woman. Rise, rise, this house stinks. Thank you.
Bravo, bravo.
Yeah.
Next we'll be hearing from Sarra Thilykou. She is a Greek poet, essayist, translator, book reviewer, editor, and author of 3 books of poetry. She lives in Athens, where she is, but she is with us here today, right now. And so, Sarra.
Thank you, dear Jack. I have already read my poem, but if you want me to repeat it, I would do this gladly.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
You were gone, Jack. When you were out, there was a.
Oh, it's when I was off.
There was
Yeah,
something.
she came in. She came in, and immediately we had her read. So
okay.
Thank you so much,
Thank
dear
you,
Jack.
Sarra.
Thank you so much for my inclusion in your anthology. It's great. Thank you.
All right. Well, let me then introduce an old friend, Dino Siotis, also from Greece, where he is now. And I'll tell you just a bit about him. He's born in Tinos, Greece in 1944. Has published nearly 20 books of fiction and poetry in Greek and English. He's founder of Wire Press, the publisher and editor of 8 political and literary magazines in San Francisco, where I first met him. So welcome, Dino Siotis. Dino? I know he is here.
You
No?
must unmute. Dino, you must unmute. You are muted.
Where? But I don't see him. I saw him earlier, but
No, he's here. He's here. Please
I'm okay now?
unmute.
Can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, John. I have a poem called They Can't Breathe. It was written in Greek last May, and it was translated by 2 ladies in the States, Vasiliki Rapti and Julia Dabnov. Wash your hands thoroughly each time you touch words that cannot breathe. Wear your mask properly as soon as you come in contact with cups with no good intentions. Insure your dreams offshore only if they are not racist. With one hand in pocket, the black man restrained in handcuffs is easier to exterminate. Your own safety is a very serious matter to be handed over to the police. The new normal is much more normal than the previous, and who knows who will survive. Thank you.
Wow, will you read it in Greek, please?
I have it in Greek too. Anapnoή. Okay, I'll read it in Greek. Αναπνοή. Να πλένετε καλά τα χέρια σας μόλις αγγίζετε λέξεις που δεν μπορούν να ανασάνουν. Να φοράτε σωστά τη μάσκα μόλις έρχεστε σε επαφή με μπάτσους που έχουν αγριέψει. Να ασφαλίζετε τα όνειρά σας offshore αν και εφόσον δεν είναι ρατσιστικά. Με το ένα χέρι στην τσέπη και με περασμένες χειροπέδες εξολοθρεύεται πιο εύκολα ο Ιπποκράτης η Αράπης. Η ασφάλειά σας είναι πολύ σοβαρή υπόθεση για να την αναλάβει η αστυνομία. Το νέο normal είναι πολύ πιο normal από το προηγούμενο. Και όποιος αντέξει. Thank you. Ευχαριστώ.
Next, we'll hear from Kathleen
It's
Williams.
been very nice to be with all of you tonight. It reminds me of my hippie days in the 70s in San Francisco, seeing Jack. Great time. Thank you.
Okay. Next, we'll hear from Kathleen Williams, who is a member of the Revolutionary Poets Brigade of San Francisco. She is in Sacramento, and she is also one of the editors, the founder of Homeward, the marvelous newspaper of the homeless people in Sacramento. Kathleen, you're on mute, Kathleen.
I just said, I hope we all had hippie days in San Francisco. My poem is titled When. When those ancients walked and wove their villages in winter, gathering in baskets russet pine nuts from the grove, they knew well the dry season and the wet. Then those ancients moved down to the basins, rewove their villages, turning to the hills again in spring. They followed the ripening, skylarks, kids, love child carried on back and breast. So we see our alienation from the land. Tangled in the capitalist killing net, floundering, blind, drowned, not remembering the clearness and the sounds that filled our bodies with music, oh birds, and love of the planet, five senses. Leaves curling and brown under the oak, how it fits together, as the kids say now. Evolved, expert, knowing well, socialism frees us to walk together, carrying the love child.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. Yeah. Next, we'll hear from Judith Bernhard, who lives in San Francisco, where she writes, translates from Spanish, facilitates writing groups, and edits other people's writing, and occasionally gives her public readings of her poems. Judith, only her.
Thanks, Jack.
Of the wonderful Cuban poet, Alexis Bernoull. Judith.
First, my poem. It's called Imagine. If I could write an anthem like John Lennon, I would make up a plain song about my vision for a better world. If I could, I would write a hymn about peace and love and no fighting ever over countries or possessions, and no religion too. If I could play the piano like John Lennon, I would flood the airwaves with a melody so sweet and simple, all of us might just join hands and sing along in careful harmony. I can't write an anthem or play the piano or flood the airwaves like John Lennon, but I can imagine the place in his song and hope someday you'll come and join us and the world will live as one.
Bravo, bravo.
And this from Alex Pausides from Cuba. Pero mundo, No voy a seguir buceando en la inmundicia. No voy a oler el cicote del que pasa con su tufo a leche podrida. No voy a rogar por un hueso pelada. No me da la gana de ladrar por nada. No voy a anunciarles que un ladrón me rodea por el vecindario, ni que los gatos no quieran cazar las ratas que se comen el queso. No quiero más ser el mejor amigo de nadie. Dog world. I'm not going to continue diving into filth. I'm not going to sniff the sweat of someone who stinks of sour milk. I'm not going to beg for a bare bone. It won't give me any pleasure to bark at nothing. I'm not going to announce that a thief is prowling the neighborhood, nor that the cats don't want to hunt the rats who eat the cheese. I don't want to be anybody's best friend anymore. Thank you.
Bravo, bravo. Next, we're going to hear a poem by Sandro Sardella, who is a poet and painter from Varese in northern Italy. He read his poems at the 2012 San Francisco International Poetry Festival, and they are being translated for publication in the United States. They're being translated by Lapo Guzzini, who is a San Francisco-based translator, editor, and arts agitator. Until 2015, he ran the Emerald Tablet, an independent cultural venue, which I know many of us remember with great love, the place, the Emerald Tablet. He will be reading the poem in Italian of Sandro Sardella and his translation, Lapo Guzzini.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear this?
Yes.
Yes? Here goes. Discanto di brace e sete. 1. Tramonto fuso con l'orizzonte, bombardato e solitario, secco di sete d'infinito che al lume della luna di primavera urla. Nel raschio della porta di ferro che si chiude, nell'erba verde che rinasce dalle macerie, nelle mani che sanno di ruggine. Sete bruciata da suoni torturati, da canti liberi per cuori rossi, e hanno sete, e rompono l'ordine stabilito, e seminano sogni planetari a chilometro zero, e addolciscono l'acqua del mare, e mostrano la nudità di reucci impestati di corone calor carota. Come si agitano, come cantano, ma nessuno sente, nessuno ascolta. I nudi muri medio-orientali, sotto il crepuscolo insanguinato, disegnano la vergogna di un cuore plastificato da una sinfonia di polvere messicana. Ho visto il mare, oceano di sete oltre il filo spinato. 2. Fradicia umanità che guarda il silenzio stupito dei bambini. Gli occhi, quegli occhi, bruciano, continuano a dirmi di un paradiso d'Occidente vuoto e falso. Parliamo di Covid-19, di città deserte, di paura, di scrivere per non far rumore, di corpi distanziati a norma, di ci stanno scavando dentro, di televisori surriscaldati, di finestre e di balconi con serenata italiana. Nel fumo, muto, tra macchine sorde, una risata può rovesciare tutte cose. L'angelo ribelle errante, erotico, eretico, pesta stelle strangolate nella melma di un cielo lago di imbecilli. Canta, non smette, di leggere e interrogare il tempo scuro, non soffoca nell'asservimento, segue il volo degli uccelli. Vede la luce che taglia ombre spaesate su una terra conquistata, consumata, ustionata. Canta, canta, la voce degli invisibili, la voce dei diseredati. Canta, corpo spalancato. Cantiamo, canto e sputo e rubo parole da spogliare per poesie a mani e piedi nudi. In English. Descant of embers and thirst. 1. Sunset melts into horizon, bombed out and lonely, desiccated by a thirst for infinity, which under the spring moonlight screams in the grinding of a closing iron door. In green grass, reborn from rubble, in hands that taste like rust, a thirst consumed by torture sounds, by free chants for red hearts. And they are thirsty, and they smash the established order, and they sow planetary dreams at the 0 mile, and they soften the seawater, and they expose naked, festering tin pot emperors with their carrot-colored crowns. How they fidget, how they sing, but nobody hears, nobody listens. Naked Middle Eastern walls under bloody twilight trace the shame of a heart laminated by symphonies of Mexican dust. I have seen the ocean, sea of thirst beyond the barbed wire. 2. Drenched humanity gawking at the stunned silence of children, the eyes, those eyes burn. They keep telling me of a hollow and phony Western paradise. Let's talk of COVID-19, of deserted cities of fear, of writing to keep from making noise, of bodies distanced by decree, of their digging into it, of overheating television sets, of windows and balconies with Italian serenade. In the dumb smoke amid deaf machines, one laugh might overturn all things. The rebel angel, errant, erotic, heretic, tramples on stars that choke in the muck of a sky lake of imbeciles. Sings, doesn't quit, reading, questioning the darkness of time, doesn't suffocate in servitude, tracks the flight of birds, sees the light slashing through lost shadows upon a land conquered, consumed, scorched. Sings, sings the voice of the invisibles, the voice of the disowned. He sings, body wide open, we sing, I sing, and spit and steal words to be undressed for empty-handed, barefoot poems.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. Next we're going to hear from John Curl. John Curl is the author of Yoga Sutras of Fidel Castro, Indigenous Peoples Day, The Outlaws of Maroon, and other volumes of poetry, history, and memoir. He lives in Berkeley with his garden, and he's a member of the RPB. He will also be reading not merely his poem, but Gregorio Manuel Vázquez Canché, who is an educator of Mayan culture and the legacy of the caste war in Quintana Roo at the Museo Maya Santa Cruz Xbalam Nay in Carrillo, Puerto Mexico. That poem will be written by Gregorio Canché. That poem is written originally in Mayan, which John will also read. John Curl.
Rainbow weather. Dueling with the devil in the eye of the hurricane. Venus in retrograde, Aries rising. Dark spots cover the sun. Predators without shame. Nothing true under their darkness. Nothing new under their guns. Nothing to eat but dog's bane and wolf's bane. Nothing to cast but blame. Nothing can change without struggle and pain, but nothing can stay the same. But those murmurs in the gales, gusting all around us, sing of something just beyond the storm. Rainbow weather's rolling in. I can smell it. I swear it. Rainbow weather's rolling in like dawn. Armies marching through the night, monumental crimes and blunders, scorched cliffs all around us, centuries of rape and plunder, bats flocking together, centipedes abusing power, jackals sniffing every crack for lovers in a secret bower. But those murmurs in the gales, gusting all around us, sing of something just beyond the storm. Rainbow weather's rolling in. I can smell it. I swear it. Rainbow weather's rolling in like dawn.
Bravo, bravo.
And now I will read the poem from Gregorio Manuel Vázquez Canché called Night Voices. This is in the Mayan language of Quintana Roo. And the title of Night Voices in the Mayan language is Akab Ta'anoob. Tilakin tal leyahilo, takal tichawak akab, ti mozanoob yetel ko kihinoob, ulo mayab kutsutz kinskoob, achwaloob kin yetel tumbin kak, sutanil pom tukuloob, yalabikoob yet, bashaloob kushtal, achitza toob, tutus ukimloob, pijanoob ku, alkat koober, kas chuloob ti, ha'il ich yetel kilkab, tolanto, yochaloob ok ti yahi, shimashambil, oko kana oob, Tibalan ka'oob ku pataka'oob, ulikbalakab, siboob, ulikbabalaan, ta'anoob, each tsotsono o ta'ob, aktunoob, mu'uloob, chumakluum ku pataka'oob, ukinam kusha antan, ukasuti ka'a sahoob, ta'anoob kun tzaik, ta'on halkabil, inetbil shiyashche, ti amotsoob, kukanki kakushantan, ti akukoob ku shi tlachal kushaansib, ti aichoob kushaan suum kukushtal, ta kiniloob kushaan kakinil. Night Voices. From the east came pain through the long night, accomplice of whirlpools and crazy times that wither the flower of the Maya land. Sons of the sun and the new fire, ideas turned into copal ashes, agonies that play with life, sages who outwitted death, spirits that travel trails wet with tears and sweat, tracing footprints of pain of bare and tired feet. In the hidden villages they wait, the rebellion of the nocturnal writings, the rebellion of the hidden voices in cenotes, caves, and hills. In the center of the earth they wait. The power of the word lives, its return into memories, words that will give us freedom. Mutilated ceiba tree of mine, in your roots sprout the living word. In your shoots flourish the living script. In your fruits, the rope of life lives. In your times lives our time.
Bravo, bravo. Next, we'll hear from Alexis Bernoull, who was born in Paris in 1977. His latest book, Un miroir au cœur du brassier, came out in May 2020 at Le Temps de Cerise. He is also the translator, among others, of poet Sam Hamill. Alexis?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. De leurs mensonges, nous nous laverons les mains. Covid, comme ses hôtes, est recouvert d'une couche de graisse protectrice que la mousse du savon dissout quand nous nous lavons les mains. Couvert d'une couche de graisse comme tant de choses aussi, comme ces armes dont nous sommes démunis, qui ne sont que l'ultime protection d'un pouvoir sinon démuni, mais muni pour l'heure lui aussi de sa graisse protectrice, le mensonge. Mensonge qui a toujours dissous la poignée de main d'un ami. Mensonge dont nous nous laverons bientôt les uns les autres les mains. Now in English. We will wash our hands of their lies. The COVID, like its hosts, that's us, is covered by a protective foil of fat or grease, which soap foam dissolves when we wash our hands. Covered by a foil of grease, like so many other things, like the weapons which we don't have, which are the last protection of a power otherwise bereft, but for its other protective grease, lies, which we will soon each other wash our hands of, lies which were always dissolved by the handshake of a friend. Merci, thank you.
Bravo, bravo. Next, we will hear from Devorah Majia, who is an emeritus poet laureate of the city of San Francisco, and whose seventh book, Califia's Daughter, was published in July of this year. Devorah. Devorah, you're muted. Unmute Devorah Majia. John?
I'm looking for her. I'm looking for her here.
Oh, okay, yeah, Devorah.
Right.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just was saying this is just such a wonderfully strong anthology, and it's lovely to hear all of the voices. And I had my little new granddaughter for a while. She seemed to be partial to Greek. I don't know. She heard the Greek and French and Spanish were the three languages other than English. Anyway, this is starts with a line from the Bob Marley song, woe to the downpressers, they'll eat the bread of sorrow. Downpressers. You walked on our bones for centuries, turned them to sand, poured into sandboxes for your children to build sand castles. And when the sand became translucent, filled with sunlight burning your eyes, you found more to sacrifice, sent vultures to strip away our skins, and built ladders formed from our ribs, limbs, and skulls on which you climbed to get a better view of the lands you plan to conquer. And now we rise, joined by some of your children and grandchildren who have eaten of shame and refused to travel on the rails you laid with our bones. And each of you who blocks our path, tries to press us back, will be blinded by our brilliance. Blinded, blinded, blinded by our brilliance.
Bravo, bravo. Okay. Next, we'll hear from Indran Amirthanayagam. He has published 17 books of poems, including The Migrant States, most recently, and he is the 2020 Foundation for the Arts Fellow in Poetry, and he writes in French, Spanish, Haitian Creole as well, and of course in his original Sri Lankan language. Okay, Amir.
Thank you, Jack. Wonderful. And I'll read the poem in Building Socialism, which is Révolution Pensée. So I wrote it in Creole, and so I'll read the Creole and then the English. Révolution Pensée. L'idée moins pas compliquée, mon cher blanc. Haïti, c'est son inhivé, et puis langue créole, langue officielle pour toute autorité Nations Unies, tribunal criminel international, sous n'importe type crime, et puis autorité NASA, tout parce que ou connaît pour laguer dans l'avenir, nous pral besoin de code, qui pas tout le monde connaît. C'est pour qui ça, moi, mettre créole disposition nous, langue code, langue pour exploration espace, pour l'ordre laguer, Haïti chéri, gros pays, sans tête ouin. A revolutionary thought overheard. My idea is not complicated, dear foreigner. Haiti is the center of the universe and Creole the official language for all authorities, United Nations, International Criminal Court, for all kinds of crimes, and NASA as well, because, as you surmise, to fight future wars, we will need codes that not everybody knows, which is why I'm leaving Creole with you, call as code language to explore space for new commands in war, dearest Haiti, great country, center of my head. Thank you.
Bravo, bravo.
That poem will be appearing in a book, but not for another year or so. But anyway, I mean in another book, but of my Creole poems. So thank you, Jack, for this, including me. And so good to hear so many great poets and friends reading along this afternoon. Cheers.
Great. Next, we'll hear from Vadim Terekhin. He is the co-chairman of the Union of Writers of Russia, chairman of the board of the Kaluga regional branch of the All-Russian Union of Writers, and member of the World Poetry Movement of Medellin, Colombia. He will read in Russian, and after each section that he reads of his poem, Scott Bird of the Revolutionary Poets Brigade of San Francisco will read the translation that Vadim has made of his poems. So Vadim Terekhin.
Hello, everyone. I want to say hello from Russian poets. My first poem, «Апокалипсис». Несущий страшную заразу, подобен вычерному сглазу, я на просторах бытия для всех надолго стану главным, незримым, властным, своенравным, да и не главным, тоже я, без цвета, запаха, летучий, я вездесущий и могучий, и у меня хватило сил, когда при мировой огласке на праздник праздников, на Пасху, я даже Бога отменил. Всему имея сопричастность, несу я сразу в жизни ясность, что человеку человек, не друг и брат, а только частность, прямая горечь и опасность, как некто снизу нам предрек. Меня повсюду будет много, я властью данной не от Бога, земное племя обвиню во всех грехах, знаю в участке, и с помощью обычной маски я этот мир разъединю. Thank you.
One.
Apocalypse. Apocalypse 1. carrying a terrible infection, like a pretentious evil eye. I am in the vastness of being. I'll be the main one for everyone for a long time, invisible, domineering, wayward, and I'm not the main one either. Colorless, odorless, volatile, I'm omnipresent and powerful. And I was strong enough when, with worldwide publicity on the holiday of holidays on Easter, I even canceled God. All having a sense of ownership, I'll immediately bring clarity to life. Show when a person's a person, not a friend and brother, but just a particular one. Directing bitterness and anger, as someone from below predicted to us. There'll be a lot of me everywhere. I'm a power not given from God. I'll accuse the earthly tribe of all sins, rotting in the precinct, and, using a normal mask, I'll divide this world.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vadim.
Go.
I recite second poem.
Yes.
Yes.
Read that. Yes.
Окей. Неужто не спослано свыше, что землю в положенный срок захватят летучие мыши, и вирус их главный пророк? Неужто в сражениях за место под солнцем, в клетушках квартир держать под домашним арестом он сможет взбесившийся мир? Мы строим вокруг оборону, надеясь вот так, по-людски, что скоро грибную корону сорвем с его круглой башки, и мир сразу станет понятен, и правда взойдет торжество, и столько расплывчатых пятен мы спишем тогда на него.
2. Was it sent down from above? What to do in due time? Bats will take over, and this is the virus. Is the virus their main prophet? Really, in the battles for a place under the sun, in the cubicles of apartments kept under house arrest, can he make the world go mad? We are building a defense around it, hoping, like this, that in a human way, let's soon get the mushroom crown off his round head, and the world will immediately become clear. And the truth will rise in triumph, and so many blurry spots we'll write off them.
Start. Говорят, что каждый модник, чтоб от века не отстать, должен впредь носить намордник, на собратьев не чихать. И на долгие недели, будто брачное кольцо, человечеству надели эту тряпку на лицо. Обязали чувством долга, намекнули, что беда, может быть, пришла надолго, ну а лучше навсегда. Ни ответа, ни привета, непонятно, что к чему, и на свете нету света, что рассеивает тьму.
3. They say that every fashionista, to keep up with the age, must continue to wear a muzzle. Don't sneeze at your fellows, and for weeks to come, like a wedding ring, humanity is clothed with this rag on its face, obliged by a sense of duty, hinting about that trouble. Maybe she came for a long time, well, better forever. No response, no greeting. It's not clear what's what, and there's no light in the world to dispel the darkness.
4 poems. Пускай Господь народ хранит, и лишь о том мы Бога просим, чтоб нас, терзающий ковид, развился в болдинскую осень. И мир, как Пушкин в карантин, куда теперь любой зачислен, восстанет из своих глубин для торжества свободной мысли. Возьмется за тяжелый труд, омоется в чернильной влаге, и рифмы бойко потекут, рука потянется к бумаге.
4. Let the Lord keep the people. And that's all we ask of God. To us, tormenting COVID-19 developed into a bold autumn, and the world, like Pushkin in quarantine, where everyone's now enrolled, rises from its depths for a celebration of free thought. Take up hard work. It'll be washed in ink, and rhymes will flow glibly. The hand will reach for the paper.
5 poem. Посещал всех без опаски, был в любое время вхож, но теперь посредством маски я забыл, как я хорош. Сердце требует простора и хороших новостей, но сегодня я, как Зорро, всюду прячусь от властей. Берегусь от злой природы и наверняка пойму ценность внутренней свободы через внешнюю тюрьму.
5. Visited all without fear, was at any time in the house, but now by means of a mask, I forgot how good I am. The heart requires space and good news, but today I'm like Zorro. I hide from the authorities everywhere. Beware of evil nature. I'm sure I'll understand the value of inner freedom through the outer prison.
6. Этим нечаянным вирусным летом я бы хотел быть только поэтом. Семени сеять, поля не пахать, птицы небесные по жизни летать. Братья и сестры, дрозды и синицы, что же с нас взять? Мы пернатые птицы. Что же последнее жадно отнять? Право чирикать, свистеть, ворковать.
This unintentional viral in summer, I'd like only to be a poet. No need to sow, no fields to plow, just fly like a bird of the sky through life. Brothers and sisters, thrushes and titties, what can be taken from us? We're feathered birds. What's the latter to greedily take away? The right to tweet, whistle, coo? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bravo, хорошо.
Спасибо, Jack. Thank you, Jack.
Okay, next we will hear, penultimately, we will hear from Nicholas Samaras, whose books include Hands of the Saddle Maker and American Psalm, World Psalm. Nicholas.
I thank you. Good afternoon. Like everybody else, I'm just loving this community, this poetic family. It just is a way to be finally back in the world, especially with all of the languages. Can everybody hear me properly?
Yes. Wait. No, it's the. Wait a minute.
The host just muted me. Thank you.
Yeah, Nicholas,
Okay.
yes.
I'm back. Thanks. Stimitrikin Muglose mio Nicola Samaras apatipatmo. It's just nice to have a shout out to Dino Siotis and some of our old friends. Nice to make new friends and be inspired by this anthology to read everybody's work and learn new appreciation. My contribution to the anthology is a poem called Broken Future, which obviously was written after the current presidency in this country. Broken Future. How to fix what hasn't come yet. Start with the anguish of the present. Refuse to participate in what drags us further down. Assemble the splinters and rebuild a tree, a house, a space to inhabit calmness and forgiveness. Console what grieves and regrets. Take colored shards of a kaleidoscope and reassemble a better picture to break the present and reset the bone, to regenerate enough hope to live on, to build a better home and move back in. Thank you.
Bravo. Okay. Now, let me just ask one more time, just before we read the final work. is Ayula Amale here? Did she come on? Was she able to get through? No, I don't think so. Huh? Okay, let me then. The final poet is Giuseppe Iuliano, whose poem was translated by Michele Delegati, and he lives, Giuseppe does, in the area of Nusco, Italy, where he and his family and comrades have gone through the hell of COVID-19, as we are doing that here in the United States. He will read his poem in Italian, and if you don't mind, I will read the translation that Michele Delegati read, because Michele can't be here today. Okay? Please welcome Giuseppe. Giuseppe, yeah.
Hello from Italy. Poeti, sentinelle di umanità, voce di poesia e brigata permanente, filo invisibile di ogni resistenza, canto di natura, grido superbo di giustizia, legame spezzato del sonno che manca, a segnare la nuova stagione come tromba nella valle di Giosafat. I poeti hanno parole affilate, coltelli che scarnificano e feriscono, vertebre e midollo senza sanguinare. Ante le passate stagioni, morte in catene, spaccano la noce dell'inverno, dell'universo, piccolo frutto che non contenta la fame, le convenienze e il loro gelo. Sudore di corpo franco, bianco, giallo, nero, compagno di miseria al gioco, spreme, immiserisce ed annienta, fatica, non ha certezze di colore. È sempre nero e rosso lo scontro selvaggio, potere e pugno, padrone e servo, questo mondo tempio ruffiano economia, che suffia linfa alla terra, sangue all'uomo, ladro e mercante di religione e usura, virus infetto di ogni differenza e male. Il poeta mai stanco canta luce, aria, fuoco. L'operaio mai sazio cerca terra, pane, vino. Entrambi a pugni chiusi, a piedi nudi, agitano rivoluzione povera di scarpe, nasi e denti rotti, mani di calli e piaghe. Sale ai palazzi la rabbia della strada, stanca di cuore e mente ai vecchi insulti. I poeti bevono cicuta a fiasche di speranza, volontari di libertà infiammano lotta e pace. Thank you.
Poets, sentinels of humanity. Voice of poetry is permanent brigade, invisible thread of all resistance, canto of nature, magnificent cry of justice, broken link of missing sleep, to mark the new season as a trumpet in the valley of Jehoshaphat. The poets have sharp words, knives that deflesh and wound vertebrae and marrow without bleeding. Many past seasons, death in chains, they split the nut of winter, of the universe, small fruit that doesn't satiate hunger, conveniences, and their chill. Sweat of a crushed body, white, yellow, black, companion of miseries to the yoke. It squeezes and impoverishes and annihilates. Fatigue has no color certainties, always black and red is the wild clash, power and punch, master and servant. This world, ruffian temple of economy, which sucks sap from the earth, blood from man, thief and merchant of religion and usury, virus infected with every difference and evil. Never tired, the poet sings light, air, fire. Never sated, the worker seeks land, bread, wine. Clenched fists, barefoot, they both shake shoeless revolution. Broken noses and teeth, hands of calluses and swords, heart and mind, weary of the old insults. The rage of the street rises to the palaces. The poets drink hemlock in flasks of hope. Freedom volunteers ignite struggle and peace. Okay, my dear comrades and friends, let's applaud each other for the fine works read today. All, remember, if you want, a copy, go to lulu.com to get a copy of the book. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Great to be with you
Thanks.
all.
It was
Okay,
wonderful.
next Thursday, I've got another reading. The next three
There's
Thursdays.
another one next Thursday. Is another reading with
Another great
extraordinary poets, more poets in the journal. In the, I say journal, in the book. It's indeed a beautiful book.
You're all invited to come back to all of these readings. So
Yes, there's a reading for the next 3 Thursdays. All begin at 11 o'clock San Francisco time. Pass the word to your friends so they can come on the Zoom.
Thank
Okay?
you.
Thank you.
Great to be with you all.